Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Hope you are all well. If you are living in southeast Queensland like me, or maybe northern New South Wales, we're still waiting for Cyclone Alfred to cross the coast. So it's funny. It's a really funny time. It's like business as usual. We're prepared as we can be, but still hoping that everything's going to be okay. So if you are in that cyclone area, thinking of you, I know exactly what you're going through. And all we can do is sort of wait and see. But while we are waiting and seeing, we can stay positive as well and have that, try as much as you can to have that positive outlook. Everything is going to work out, all right? And trust me, I know exactly how you're feeling right now, but I'm trying to keep that positive outlook as well. All right, so enough about that. Today, we are talking about why it is so hard to stick to those healthy habits. I hope I'm still live and coming to you because my face has frozen on the computer. So I'm going to just keep going and hope that it's just a little bit of a cyclone affected internet glitch, but we are still back on track. Okay, here we go. All right. Now, eating healthy can be hard sometimes, can't it? And what about exercising regularly? That can be hard too. You know, we start out really enthusiastically and we set all these plans, and it's like, right, Monday I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do every day I'm going to do this, and I'm going to not eat that, and I'm going to eat this, and we've got all this enthusiasm. And then as we get going further into the week, maybe we start to skip a session of exercise here and there, or maybe we start to snack, or maybe we binge when stress, when the weather's doing what it's doing, or there's just a busy because our lives are busy with work and children and partners and outside commitments and all of that sort of things. So all of these things can then push us in the direction of that comfort food because we get overwhelmed. Now, this is not laziness. This is not just about not having discipline, okay? These are habits, and sometimes these habits can be very, very deeply ingrained because they have been your go-to automatic fallback for maybe years, maybe even decades, okay? Because our habits form through repetition. We know that it takes, I don't know what they're saying these days, but it used to take 3 weeks to make a habit or something like that anyway. But it's from repetition. Now, if your habits and your beliefs around food started when you were very young, then you have been forming that habit. You have been repeating the thoughts in your heads, even if you're not saying them out loud to yourself. They have been drummed into you at an early age. I know even now, I can't leave any food on my plate, all right? Because who grew up with the whole, you can't leave the table till you've eaten everything on your plate. Didn't matter if we didn't like it, didn't matter if we were full, didn't matter if we were not hungry. You had food on your plate, you had to eat it, because the next line was, there are people starving in Africa. Okay, this is what I grew up in my home. And my parents are wonderful and lovely, by the way. Please don't get me wrong here. This is just, I want to demonstrate, and I know I'm not alone here. I want to demonstrate that these are the sorts of things that what our parents were saying, what we were doing. These are the sorts of things that cause the habits to form over time. Okay. And they got all of this from their parents. And if you remember back when your parents were alive, times were actually really quite tough. They would have gone through things like the Great Depression, through wars and things. So their experiences and their thoughts and their beliefs are a direct a result of their experiences, okay? And they just get brought through from generation to generation. So this is also later in this live, I'm going to talk about how you're breaking those cycles as well. Okay. So it's not good, it's not bad, it just is. And today is all about learning how to uncover those unconscious patterns that are making those habits kick into place, and then what we can do about them. Okay. So let's get started with, let's talk about stress. All right. We all know stress. But what happens when we're stressed is that our brains default to what is familiar. Okay. When we are feeling any sort of emotion, all the lights in the front of our brain, this is where we make our logical, strategic, good choices, right? They turn off, and all the lights in the back of our brain light up like a Christmas tree, okay, when we are really emotional. So when we're stressed, when we're feeling overwhelmed, all of that sort of stuff, okay? So when that happens, because, the lights have turned off back here, it's really easy for us to go into those unconscious habits, okay? We default to what is familiar, even if it is unhealthy, all right? So understanding that, though, is going to help approach where you are and what your beliefs are and how to change them. It's going to help you approach that with more kindness towards yourself, because that's what is really important as well. Okay. We don't want anyone judging themselves for what they do or what they have done. And we certainly don't want anyone feeling guilty for when you do slip up, because this is not about being perfect. This is about being aware and then deciding to make a different choice, and understanding that if you've had these habits been going for however long they've been going, it doesn't even matter. If you've got these habits that you can easily slip back into, then you need to give yourself some time and some grace to turn that around, okay? It's not going to happen overnight. So let's be a little bit realistic as well. So some of the blocks that we can also contribute to us not keeping up with our eating or our exercise plans is that we're too tired, okay? It's too hard to be healthy. I don't have time to be healthy. I don't have time to exercise. I don't have time to prepare healthy food. I'll never be, and then fill in the blank, I'll never be my ideal weight. I'll never be fit. I'll never be healthy. I'll never be free from pain. Okay, because is one of those beliefs that you have, is it that, slowing down and getting all the aches and pains and gaining weight, with menopause, do you believe that that is all just a normal part of getting older? Okay, so this is where, and I'll go through some more in detail in the practical steps in a moment, but this is, starting to understand what are our blocks, okay? Because what happens when we bring the universal laws into it, so there's the law of cause and effect. I need to slow down my words. So what that is saying is that is every action has an equal and opposite reaction, basically. So the small is important. Consistent is the next important thing. Choices that we make have big outcomes over time. So if you are not healthy right now, if you are not, let's just use, if you are not your ideal weight right now, okay? You weren't your ideal weight yesterday, and today you're not your ideal weight, okay? It doesn't happen like that. You were your ideal weight back whenever you were, and then it was the small choices that you made on a consistent basis over the however much time has passed under that bridge that has caused you to be where you are. Okay, this is all about consequences for our actions. Okay, that's what the universal law of cause and effect is all about. So when you understand that, and then you understand the law of vibration, so everything has a vibration, so our thoughts have a vibration, how we feel, what we do, everything is vibrating. So that's physics as well, okay? So when we make these small, seemingly insignificant decisions on a day, because in that day, it's just one day. But if we keep doing it over time, that then starts to affect our vibration. We don't feel so good. Whether it is our body saying, okay, well, that food didn't agree with you because now you're bloaty or you've got pain or whatever, or we're just not feeling good because we're not eating well, because we're not exercising, because we're not sleeping well, that affects our vibration. So our vibration gets lower. And everything that we do and everything that we don't do as well affects our vibration. So when we're vibrating at that lower vibration, then the law of attraction kicks in and it brings us more things into our lives that match that vibration. Okay? And it could be any manner of things, but it has to prove you right. So this is where your RAS, your reticular activating system, kicks in as well. It filters what you see based on what you're focused on. So if you're focused on the fact that you don't feel great, then it's going to look for more things to make you stay in that not feeling great state, because that's how it works. All right. But the good news is that you can change all of that. And it's just through some understanding. And let's get into some practical now. Awareness is the first thing that you have to do. Okay. And this is awareness around our thoughts and around our actions. So start listening to the stories that you're telling yourself when it comes to eating healthy or exercising, okay, or even sleep. Let's throw that in here as well, because that is all part of your health. Sleep is an extremely important part of your health. So what are the stories you're telling yourself? Start to become aware of them. Now, don't go deep down into the why. Why do I feel like that? Okay, because that's going to take you down a deep rabbit hole. This awareness simply needs to be at a very surface level. What are you saying to yourself? What are you thinking? What are you feeling when it's time to go and have something to eat, or it's time to go and do some exercise, and you choose something that is unhealthy versus healthy, or you choose not to exercise instead of exercise? Okay. So what are you thinking when the time comes to, okay, it's time to do it? What are you thinking when you don't do it? All right. When you don't go and exercise, when you grab something that's unhealthy. So what are you thinking and feeling in that as well? And very importantly, what are you saying to yourself? Are you talking smack? Are you really being hard on yourself? Are you shaming yourself? Are you feeling guilty? Are you judging yourself? All right. These are all the things that I want you to start to become aware of, because while you do that, you are going to keep that vibration at a really low level, and the cycle is going to keep happening. Okay. So this first step on the awareness is all around just being aware of what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you're saying, what you're doing. Okay, be aware of it. Write it down if you need to. And just on a side note as well, our weight can also, if you have a lot of trouble shifting your weight and you are doing all the things, you're watching what you eat, you've changed up your diet, you're exercising, all that sort of stuff, and you've still got these really deep-seated things going on, it could be linked to safety, especially for women. Now, if you understand epigenetics, and that past stresses and traumas are passed through our DNA as well, you don't even have to understand epigenetics. That's basically what it says. So science have proven that our past stresses and traumas have been passed through in our DNA as well. And so if you think of what has happened to women over history, there was a time where women were killed because somebody accused them of being a witch. Now, they had all sorts of crazy things going on, but if you were, underweight, there were weighing stations as well that they had. And if you were underweight, you could be accused of being a witch. Not because you had no money to buy food or anything like that and you were struggling. It's because you must be a witch living off, secret herbs and berries and stuff like that. Okay, so being thin was actually dangerous. Okay, so I'm not saying this is the case for everyone. If you are finding it really hard, though, with some really deep unconscious things, then please go and speak to someone who is able to help you on that deeper level. So people, hypnotherapy might work, NLP, timeline therapy, that sort of thing. And I know for women, creatrix is the amazing thing. And if you want to get in contact with someone who does that, message me and I will put you in contact with someone who does that, okay? Because that's something that's going to be that deeper thing that is going to be really hard to do by yourself. All right? Okay. So let's get back on track. So once you have become aware of what your thoughts are and how you feel and what you're saying to yourself and your actions, okay, when you go to reach for that unhealthy thing, is question it. I want you to question everything. Is this really what I want? Or is it just an automatic reaction? Am I grabbing that quick, easy, unhealthy snack because I skipped a meal and now I'm hungry? I get hungry. All right. And often when we're hungry, it's because we're actually dehydrated. So maybe start by having a glass of water first and then see what you can eat. Okay. Have a glass of water. It'll take away that edge. And then see, okay, am I actually hungry now? And if I am, you've got that space to then look at, all right, well, what can I have instead of grabbing the chips or grabbing the whatever unhealthy thing that you've got there. And what I do as well is I have veggies and stuff chopped up in little containers so that when I am hungry or if I don't have a lot of time, I kind of have taken away that excuse because it's all there. It's sort of prepped and all I have to do is chuck it into a pan and cook it if it's something I'm cooking, or chuck it into a bowl and have a salad or whatever. Okay. And also another thing that I find as well when it comes to exercise, I am a huge yoga fan. Okay. And anytime I know that if I don't go to yoga regularly, I don't feel great. And I also know that if I stop going, it can be a little bit hard to get back into it, right? But I also know that when I'm feeling tired or when I don't really feel like going, or if I have a headache, when I do go to yoga, I always feel better for it. All right. So this is where I want you guys to question, is it really something I can't do? Because there are times where I really haven't felt well and I haven't gone. I haven't forced myself to do it. But I question, okay, am I just not going because I don't want to go, or is there a legitimate reason for me to not go? And most times, if it's just because I don't want to go, because I'm feeling a little bit whatever, I'll make myself go and I always feel better for it, okay? And also, when you are looking at making these choices, question, what is the flow-on effect of me having a little bit of unhealthy food today? Or what is the flow-on effect of me not going to yoga today? Not much really. It's one day. But if you then start to string those one days together, then this is where the law of cause and effect comes in. This is where it starts to become a bigger problem. Okay, over time it will start to become a bigger problem. So question, what is the flow-on effect? So if it's like, oh, it's one day, I'll go tomorrow, then fine, make that choice. This is not about being so rigid and regimental that you don't enjoy it, because you have to enjoy it. When you enjoy it, it's easier to keep doing. So if it comes to day 2, you make that choice again. What's the flow-on effect? Okay, well, it's been 2 days now. Do I want to make it 3? Do I want to start to undo the good work that I've done? Do I want to make a different habit? And you make that decision because you are all grown-ups. Okay, this is about understanding the consequence for your actions. That's it. Some consequences are good, some consequences are not good. So I I would say I eat well maybe 75-80% of the time. And I don't exercise every day, but I would do maybe 4 to 5 days out of the 7, okay, on average. All right. Um, then also in the whole questioning thing, you want to question, is it normal to feel tired all the time? Does everyone feel tired all the time? And if you can find people who don't, then that means it's possible for you as well. And the same as if you are just accepting aches and pains as a normal part of getting older, go have a look for people who are older, whatever older is for you as well. It's different as we age. Go and find people who are not old. They're active, they're out there, they're healthy, they're fit, they're doing things. You don't have to be running marathons, but you want to at least be able to enjoy your life, be able to move around. My parents are an incredible inspiration for me of what is possible when you are older. You do not have to, you age how you want to age, okay? It's based on your mindset and your actions. All right. So once you've got that awareness, you've identified what your blocks are, you're questioning them, okay? And then you're going to reframe them. Reframe your blocks, reframe your beliefs, put it into something that makes you feel good. So whether it is, I choose to eat well, or it feels good when I eat healthy food. I choose to move my body, or it feels good when I move my body. There are lots of healthy older people. If they can do it, I can do it. So you get to reframe whatever it is. So what else did I say before? Too busy, I choose to find time to prioritize my health. There's always something that you can do to change up the repetition of the old block, okay? Once you identify it, you can change it up into something else. And then this is all about then when you find yourself slipping back into the old patterns, acknowledging, oh, oops, that's right, that's an old pattern. And that's all it is just acknowledging it and going, right, I'm not going to say that anymore because I don't want my future to be more of the same of my past. I want to change things up. So it's acknowledging it, then you reframe it and you keep going. And this is how you're going to start to create those new habits, by keeping doing that, catching yourself without judgment, without feeling bad. Actually congratulate yourself that you caught yourself, and then change it up and congratulate yourself that you changed it up, okay? All right. What's the time? Let's keep moving. I need a little bit more. And set some realistic goals and small goals, okay? Instead of trying to change everything overnight and all at once, pick something small that you know you can do and you know you will do it. So whether that is with your food or your exercise or maybe your sleep nighttime routine, and do that for a few days and then add something else to your routine. And the speed at which you do that is going to be up to you and what the thing is. You might add something in really quickly and easily. The next thing, it might take a little bit longer. The next thing might, I don't know. But just keep adding it on, because it's all this small, consistent steps in the direction you want to go is what's going to help you have long-term good results, okay? And aim to move your body in some way for 5 out of 7 days. And it doesn't matter what it is, as long as you enjoy it, because when you enjoy it, it's easier for you to do. And you can change it up each day. It doesn't have to be for an hour either. It could be maybe just on one day you can only do 10 minutes. Maybe you do a 10-minute yoga routine instead of an hour. Or maybe you only walk around the block instead of going to wherever you normally would go. That would be a longer thing, okay? It's not about having to do the exact same thing all the time. It's about getting into the habit of moving your body and recognizing that, yeah, I like it when I do this. It's enjoyable and my body feels good, okay? And then the second last thing, manage your stress. You need to recognize what your triggers are and make changes. Stress is a part of life. We need to have that fight-flight response, so to keep us safe, basically. If something is about to fall on our head, we need to have that stress response to run out of the way, or to move, or to do something. So stress is always going to be part of your life. However, this is about managing it and making sure that the things that are not putting you in danger, like, I don't know, work, and if you're reading your emails, or doing all of that sort of stuff, we need to be able to recognize what causes you stress, and then what can you do to change it to lower that stress. And maybe you need to set boundaries. Maybe you need to ask for help. Maybe you need to learn how to do some deep breathing exercises. Maybe you need to find some 5-minute meditations that you really like. Go onto YouTube. There's so much free stuff out there. Things that you can do that don't take up a lot of time as well, because it doesn't have to be time consuming. But these guided meditations are really good because it gives your brain something else to focus on. Okay. And when they're guided, you're focusing on that person's voice instead of your own voice in your head. So it helps you to stay on track. Okay. So find something that works for you to manage your stress. And the last thing I want to say is to celebrate all wins. I touched on it before. It is so important. Every tiny little win. You don't have to throw a ticker tape parade. You don't have to tell everyone about it. You just have to acknowledge it. Just give yourself a little pat on the back, a little high five, or a wink to the universe, whatever it is. Just, that went well, or I feel good, or I made this choice over that choice. And that's a win. Okay. We had a whole bunch of chips and stuff spread out the other day at work, and I didn't even feel like eating them. I wrote that down as one of my wins. Wasn't tempted. Okay. So celebrate every single win that you do. Went to yoga today. Win. All right. It's going to keep you motivated. It's also going to keep your vibration higher. And then the law of attraction is going to bring you more things that match that vibration to keep that good feeling going. Okay. All righty. Let us wrap it up because I am almost out of time. So understand how your mind works. Understand how the universal laws work. Work with them. Work with how your mind and the laws work. Okay. It's so much easier. Take small, manageable steps. Be consistent, but don't be rigid. All right. Allow some flexibility because life is always going to happen. I think most importantly, be kind to yourself. Allow yourself some grace. Allow yourself some time. All right. This is not about being perfect. This is about having that awareness, questioning, reframing, and taking a different action. And the action will be physical, and it also be internally as well, about what you're saying to yourself. And just value your health, guys. I mean, we all know it's important. However, sometimes it takes something really massive to make us really value it. Don't wait for that massive thing to happen. Value it now. And by taking these little steps, you're going to hopefully avoid something massive happening. All right. Thank you so much. If you've got questions, comments, pop them in the comments, tag me. I'm happy to clarify anything. I'm going to leave you with a quote from Mahatma Gandhi. And Gandhi says, "It is health that is real wealth and not pieces of gold and silver." Have an amazing Friday. Stay safe if you are in Cyclone Alfred's realm. I don't know. The wind area. I don't know what you call it. Stay safe if Cyclone Alfred is anywhere near you. And I will hopefully see you on Monday. We'll see what Alfred's doing. But have a great weekend otherwise. All right, everyone. Bye-bye.